Hey guys, this is part 2 of my Tuesday tips for macarons. I always recommend using fresh egg whites, but I do not recommend cracking them right into the bowl. Typically, I'll have 3 containers. I'll crack into the first one, have 1 for my yolks, and then 1 for my whites. I pour into each container first and then crack my next one, so that way there's no chance of me breaking a yolk into my big bowl of whites. I then mix in my sugar as well as my egg white powder. You don't need egg white powder, but I find it makes a much more stable meringue and allows me to have less hollows. Now again, I'm making white macs in this video, but at this stage with the egg whites, the sugar, and the egg white powder, I always add my color if I'm going for something more saturated. Especially if you're going to use powdered colors like the Sugar Art Master Elites, they do need to be water activated, so adding them to the liquid egg whites is the best way to get the most saturated color. I then sift together my dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I love my little rotational sifter. I find it so much easier than a standard one, and trust me, I've done these a million times, so I just got mine off of Amazon. I then clip my piping bag after putting in my round tip and clip it above the tip. Pop the bag open and then pop it into a cup or whatever you have that's almost the same height as the bag. This just makes it way easier to fill once you're ready. Another really important part of the process is weighing your ingredients. I know some people use cups and I used to as well, but for macs I really find that the number of grams totally matters. I recently did a batch and I mixed up my sugar and egg white measurements and the whole batch was garbage, so please weigh your ingredients. You want to whip your meringue until stiff peaks. I do a Swiss meringue because I find it's more forgiving. It's really hard to overmix your batter when you do the Swiss meringue method, so that's what I find works best for me. That way there's less risk involved. I do a lot of folds. I just rotate my batter, swiping my spatula around, not really mixing through, just folding it slowly until I kind of get a lava flow, or I can make a few figure eights with my batter without it breaking off of the spatula. It's important to remember that you do want some air still in your batter. You don't want it totally flat, otherwise all that air you just whipped into your stiff peak meringue will end up doing nothing for you. So make sure that you're folding slowly and being patient. Once the batter is ready, I pour it all into my piping bag. I find that this is how it keeps best for me in between piping my trays. I twist off the top and get ready to pipe. I do not pipe with my trays right side up. I flip them upside down to help improve airflow. I prefer my Pretty Care silicone mats that I got on Amazon, but anything that works best for your oven is totally up to you. My oven runs hot, so I find that when I pipe on parchment or on Teflon, it doesn't work as well. These keep it a little more insulated. I give my tray a few good taps to get rid of all those lumps and bumps on the top of my macs, and then pop them into the oven on the middle rack. I put them in at around 250 to 255, and then I prop the oven door open with a wooden handled spatula. This allows some of that steam to release and allows the tops to get a full shell. I don't rest these macarons, they go straight into the oven. After 5 minutes, I remove the spatula, take a look, increase the temperature to 285 and shut the oven door for 15 minutes. After that, I give them a wiggle test where I literally put a finger on top and wiggle the macs. If they're wiggling, they're not ready. Just put them in for another minute, and then when you do the wiggle test again, they should be more stable and ready to come out of the oven. Once they're cooled, you can take them off your mat. Now they shouldn't stick because we did the wiggle test, but if they do, you can just pop the mat right into the freezer for 5 minutes and they should peel off. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can check out the caption for more tips and tricks, and be sure to let me know if these worked for you.